Hi, Mom.
Yeah, so I'm Cadarev. I will be running Tomb Raider Underworld. With me, I have the entire Tomb Raider community that made it to this event.
Woo!
We have Heinke, who runs a different game, and Eraser, who also runs a different game that we learned 1 hour ago, so they're completely qualified. It's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, so we will start a new game on easy. There will actually be this opening cutscene, don't worry about this. The run will start once I gain control of Alara. You will see soon that her home kind of blows up, don't question that. So this is the 9th game in the main series, which is the last one before they rebooted the series. And it is a bit infamous for its controls. You will probably see why. But actually I can't talk and it's in French.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sorry. Thank
It's
you.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so I can't talk too... Yeah, Heinke did, sorry. So I can't talk too much about the game in general, because in this prologue we will actually skip half of the game. That is because this exact same map will be used later on in the playthrough, and both level exit triggers are already present. So you're just not supposed to get to the first one in the to the second one in the prologue, but I will try anyways. If I would get past this, it's okay.
Okay, we have time. So you will see him doing a lot of swan jump, where Lara just dive in front of her, and it's actually really broken.
Yes, so the main reason why this game is so broken is because of the swan dive. For example, I can bypass like that the obstacle, which you're supposed to use a box and like shimmy it around and then jump over it. But the main thing that I will do is do this prologue skip here. So we will skip the first 3 levels. If you would touch the floor down there, you would go to the intended first level, but we want to try to avoid that. And we use the swan dive there to gain a mid-air jump, and we will now go to the second level entry point, exit point, and that should bring us to Mexico, which is, as I said, the 4th level, bypassing roughly half an hour of gameplay.
So that's pretty nice.
That's all right, I guess.
Good job, good job.
So in the loading screens, there's not too much going on, but I will have to select a weapon and an outfit, which really doesn't matter. But the weapon is kind of important in the first half of the run, because we'll always select a shotgun, as it is simply the most powerful weapon. And then we will have a longer bike segment, because Mexico is kind of a non-linear level. You're supposed to drive around to different locations, collect some puzzle pieces, and then solve a puzzle in a central hub. But luckily we have a swan dive, so we can circumvent all of that, and we will just drive to the end of the level without solving any puzzles, and then we will solve the puzzle our way, I guess.
Yeah. For people that want like a comparison, like earlier I compared that to Metroid game, basically, where you go to one point, get an object, so you can get to another point and stuff like that.
Exactly. And what I will do is I will go out of bounds very easily, unsurprisingly using a swan dive. So luckily the developer put some statue heads in that central hub we can jump across, which makes it really easy to go out of bounds if you can get the timing down. And then I will need to go back inbounds. The only problem is the next level is too far down below and I would die from fall damage, which is where the grenade will come in. So in this game you have grenades. There are sticky grenades and there are timed grenades. So we'll have to count down exactly how many beeps there are to jump at the correct time. And if everything goes well, the grenade hits me before I hit the floor. I will receive the damage from the grenade, but no damage from the actual fall, because the fall damage height basically gets reset. And the rest is pretty much driving, so there's not too much to do. If you want to say anything, you can do that.
Yes, I want to remind all of our viewers that we are benefiting Save the Children. With 25,000 dedicated staff all over the world, Save the Children responds to major emergencies, delivering innovative programs and ensuring children's voices are heard through our campaigning to build a better future for and with children. So if you spend $5, you can provide education supplies for one child, giving them the tools they need to continue their education.
So here I'm trying to take a little shortcut by using the grenade.
Yeah, so this is really precise. I can take a couple of tries. Yeah, second try is good.
So here I'll actually kill myself because I don't have enough health to survive the next fall. Ignore that. It's the easiest way to refill my health. So here will be the jumps that I talked about across these statues.
Yeah. So like he should go normally like to the right of where he is going right now, but nah.
And now I need to throw the grenade and jump. Good.
Nice.
Perfect.
So you can see this obviously looks perfect. So here we have the next level, but I need to load it. And I also need my motorbike, which I left behind. Luckily, there is a magical motorbike here, which is very good. So I can continue, because I actually need it in this next level. So this level, the second part of Mexico, is actually the last one we were not able to completely break so far. We actually have gotten really, really close, but there is always another obstacle after we surpass the previous one. So we somehow still have to do most of this glitchless and the intended way. And that will be to collect some key items in the next hub area. And after we're done with that, we go into the basement of the level. I want to back up a bit here to gain more speed. We go into the basement of the level, and there we will do a shortcut. But that's not until a bit later on.
Yeah. Also, like the motorbike control are really awful.
You tried earlier, right?
Yeah, I tried earlier. I was like, okay, what is this? Is this serious?
Sadly it is. So yeah, this game is pretty infamous for its controls. But considering it came out in 2008, it actually still looks pretty good. So that's very nice. So here I'm just starting the level by inserting these spears, which will open up this central structure. You can actually skip cutscenes, smaller ones, like these in-game cutscenes, which just shows you what unlocked by pressing crouch, which is a completely intended mechanic, which allows you to gain control over Lara earlier than you're supposed to. Here it's not too useful, but in the final level it will be, so maybe you want to keep that in the back of your minds. So I'm opening the side rooms here, and then I will have to go into each one of them, collecting the keys I mentioned earlier, which will be stone plates, which are somehow all fitting into Lara's small backpack.
Yeah, because this is Pokemon. Like this game is Metroid, Pokemon, stuff like that.
So that jump there wasn't, like that's not the intended way to get up here. You can kind of, that slope is supposed to push you down, but if you swan dive up it, somehow the effect does not take place, and you can just run up normally. And here you can also jump early. You're supposed to jump across first. So in this room we have traps, as you can see. There are some very cool slowdown effects here that are unavoidable, and a very cool camera change here is also unavoidable, which is why I'm rolling. Because at least then she doesn't change directions during the roll. If I were to just hold the direction, she would actually adjust to the new camera perspective and thus run in the different directions. So that's 1 out of 4 side rooms done. Next is the probably most difficult one. And we do the same trick here again, so that's the same slope we went up earlier. That's a health pack. So that health pack was completely for free because I had to wait for the central structure to get in place anyways, so I just spent it collecting a health pack.
Oh, not getting blocked, yeah.
That was actually the second room, so the only puzzle there was to do 1 roll, and I masterfully was able to do that. Yeah, so this next one is actually a bit trickier, and then the fourth one is the most tricky one. So you can see the trap here. Actually, on the way in, I already want to push down this block back here with my grappling hook, because I need it for my way back. You can see you can get a bit close. Yeah. And that's actually a good position. I should not be killed here. But
the most solid block of concrete you have ever seen.
As you can see, the spider kind of get killed though, which is good, because I will have to kill them anyways later on. Otherwise they would interrupt me, and the less I have to kill by myself, the better. And here is also like very minute shortcuts, like saving a few seconds here and there. But the next room will be the most difficult one, as I said. And once that's done, we can go into the basement, which will take a bit. So first I want to get past this. Very good. So horizontal bars like these, they kind of have a lock-on mechanic in this game. And sometimes when Lara locks onto one of them, you can bypass these flames, which is very cool. Sometimes you don't, that's not cool. But yeah, that's all of the stone plates. Now we'll just kill the remaining spiders, and then I will proceed. Don't question, it's okay. Or I'll try. Oh. Okay, yeah, so now I will just finish up the rest of here, and I think we can talk about something else in the meantime.
Yeah, if you have some donation, like, that will be a good time.
I indeed have one. I have a $50 donation from Plastic Rainbow. Hey, Caddy, good luck with the run, because you will definitely need it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Plastic is one of the few other runners of this game who actually has done quite a lot of work when it comes to further breaking it. He came very, very close to finally breaking this level, just to find out that the very last jump we cannot currently do with our options. So we came to like 95% complete skip of this level, and then It was all in vain, and we're still doing this. But thank you very much, Plastic. And that's all of that. So now we open up the basement, and we go down with the bike. So the intended way would be to use this bike to cross an obstacle, because there is a slope leading up to it, and you're only supposed to get across the obstacle with the bike. Luckily, we have a swan dive, so we can do it without the bike. And since we don't need the bike, we also don't need to obtain the item that lets us get the bike out of there, because the bike would be kind of locked behind the obstacle right up ahead. But since we don't need that, we can skip the second part of the basement. Like that. So now we just have to collect the key, which will let us out of this level, and then we can already return and head all the way back to where we started. So this cutscene I can't skip. Some of these in-game cutscenes, as I said, I can skip. Some I guess I can't.
It's okay, like we are enjoying the story journey.
Yeah, story in this game is something about Lara searching for her mother. We will shortly see her later on, if I don't forget to mention it. That's about all you need to know. So this is the way back. We also do with a swan dive. And now we can go all the way back to the end of the level, which was also the start of the level. And the only thing that we are missing right now would be a way to get this motorbike out of the next room without having to solve the puzzles, because we found skips for everything. We don't have to do the puzzles. We don't have to do something special to get out of the locked basements. The only thing we cannot do right now is exit the level without the bike. So yeah, once that's found, this will be a lot shorter. Yeah. But until we're out of the level, feel free to plug anything you want.
Yeah. Like, I just want to mention that this game is really optimized. No, I don't laugh. It's true.
I know my own runs.
Yeah.
By the way, this next death will be intentional. So yeah, now you can continue.
Yeah. They time it loadless, but right now, like loadless, your world record is like 2046. So that's pretty insane, honestly. Just to give you an idea, like, his estimate isn't that big.
Yeah, like the estimate is quite big, because on the next level there will be a rather important skip that if I fail it, I will be set back by a minute. So
yeah, which is like
happen.
Normal.
Yes,
but
and
like
you usually would reset the run, of course, but now I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but not gonna. So yeah, that's just the end of the level. If there's anything you want to say, go ahead.
Yeah, we want to remind all of the viewers of our famous prizes that we have. So if over the course of the whole run, or of the whole marathon, you donate $60, you are eligible to be drawn for the custom ESA-themed N64 controller, which is a true beauty. So if you're an N64 enthusiast or just want to have a nice controller at home, get up those donations.
There was like one clap.
Clap.
All right, so next up is Mayen Island, which is an island belonging to Norway.
I mean, don't worry, people can read.
But it's in French.
Yeah.
You know how I read French. Or should I read it right now?
No. Anything but that.
Wow.
So yeah, in the first room there will be a really large tower that usually you would have to climb, and it would rotate, and you would have to align certain patterns to solve puzzles to unlock the next gate. But we can actually skip all of that and skip the gate while it's still closed. But as I said, it will require a pretty precise trick. So first I have to get down the tower without using the bike, which is not that difficult. And I will actually first do a safety save, just in case. I mean, I'm saying just in case, but I will probably need it. I guess that was save successful in French.
Probably, I don't know. I can't read French. You know?
So this is how we cancel fall damage. You just crouch after a roll animation, and it works. And you don't question. Then I need to get rid of these guys. Or not, if he's AFK, I guess. Then I break this urn because it has a treasure. I don't really want the collectible, but I need to pick it up from a specific angle, so it pushes me now out of bounds, like that. And now I will have to get back inbounds behind the gate. The only problem is the gate extends into the out of bounds section, so I can't do that by myself. I need a grenade jump, and for that, I need a pretty precise setup. No, I'm not going for that. That would have been too risky. No!
Oh, so close.
So close. All right. Yeah, while I get back there, you can read donation.
And I will. We have a big one. We have $300.
Woo!
From Chillpill saying, awesome event, awesome runners, awesome cause. And this guy also seems to be a bit of a Rosalina fan, because the donation goes toward the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 32 tracks character choice, which is a bit what is still currently going on. But Rosalina is obviously in the lead right now.
Right, so next try. This time the guy was a bit more active. So he hit me, maybe I will die to the grenade damage now, we'll see. Oop. That's better, there we go.
Yeah,
Hey.
nice.
So yeah, if you jump too early, you obviously, that's what happened on the first try. I got knocked up by the grenade too late, so I couldn't make it back inbounds. You can also completely miss the grenade explosion if you go way too early. And if you go too late, you get knocked in the wrong direction because the grenade will explode before you bypassed it. So in this segment, we are supposed to have the motorbike. So that's why this may seem a bit awkward that I'm running for quite a while now. But yeah, since we left that behind, that's not really an option.
It's still a lot faster to just do the skip
Yes.
and not getting there with a motorbike.
And while we're running, I can also explain there is a stamina mechanic in this game that you don't really see because there is no stamina meter or anything like that. So sprinting in general is the fastest way of movement, but you can only do that for 10 seconds if your stamina, your invisible stamina, is completely full. Otherwise, I will do swan dives because it's the second fastest way and you regenerate some health. Which brings us to the final skip of this level, where we will skip a cutscene trigger that is in the middle of this bridge. I will do another swan dive around it, and I want to do the back save.
Like if it triggers a cutscene, like the bridge will just collapse, so we actually need that one. Like.
All right. That's
Oh, nice.
I don't know, yeah.
And now the AI is completely broken.
Yes, you can see that guy did not care.
Yeah.
I will try to turn around at the end of this bridge because it's also collapsing behind me now. But you can see
The bats, like
the bats back there are also
like
completely frozen in midair. So that's very nice. So now that's the end of Mayen. Sorry. And now we go on to a very small level. So this is basically just run from the start to the finish. The only thing noteworthy here is one more fall damage cancel that we do. So we will again press crouch after roll, because otherwise we would die from fall damage, but the rest is just bypassing enemies. They don't really care too much either, which is good. And also from this point onwards, it doesn't matter what weapon we choose, because we just obtained Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and it one-shots any enemy except for the really large ones in the last level. So there is not too much use in any of the other weapons from here on out.
Yeah. So basically after Avenger on games, Thor wanted to take some vacation and he left his hammer. Like that's the only explanation I have.
Same for me, because yeah. If you listen closely, you may hear them shout something in French. I don't know. I don't speak French.
Yeah, sure.
I tried.
Sorry, c'est difficult.
Whatever that means. Yeah, again, this is more about optimizing your stamina usage. That's why you see me do some swan dives, even though it would obviously be faster to just sprint. But yeah, this is actually the fastest way to get through here. And that brings us already to the last level, which will be the Arctic Sea, once we get past this cutscene. And in the Arctic Sea, at the start, there will be another, or not another, it's actually the only swimming section we really do in this game. So this game, obviously it's called Underworld. So it's supposed to be about the Norse mythology, which it kind of is because of Thor, but it's also supposed to have quite a few swimming segments, but those are mainly in the first 3 levels, which we all bypass, so sorry about that. Also, if you pause cutscenes at the start like this, and unpause, for some reason it takes less time to skip them afterwards, which was also found by Plastic, who donated earlier. I don't know how he found that, but it's very great. Because as Eraser said, at this point, seconds you save are actually very important in this game. So that was very welcome, and this is the swimming section. So I will swim for a while. You can talk about what you want in the meantime.
All right, we got a $5 donation from Horst, and he says, faster Urs, so geht das nicht.
Achtung.
Yes. I wonder if that's some kind of cliche first names for Germans and Swiss people. I don't know. Must be an in-joke, I don't get it. What? So here you're supposed to get through that gate to my right by making the statues move their swords. I will not do that because in this game, when you let go of horizontal bars and re-grab them, Lara will slowly drift to the right, and at some point she will be able to clip through the wall, which should allow me to completely bypass doing any of that. So luckily in this room there is such a beam. So if I grab it from this side and repeatedly let go and re-grab, yeah, that's actually already pretty good. Good work. Aw, it's not back at the last one. Looks good though. Maybe I try again. Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Nice.
So I'm still not quite past the gate. So you can see, oh my god, that's what and I'm back in bound. Well, I'm not sure if I'm back in bound. And I also don't know where I am. This is so awkward.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
I kind of want to. Okay, so that's, yeah, now I think I'm back in bound. Okay, let's just do it. Yeah, that's the problem. If you swim too close to walls from the outside, they shoot up and you can't really see anything. Yeah, that's why I was hesitant about calling it a success, but we can try again.
It's okay. It's like now people can understand what you're going to do. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you usually get. She doesn't deeply embed on the first try, so usually you have to re-grab. This might not work. Yeah, it wasn't far deep enough. Try again then. Yeah, there we go. Next try.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that looks better because now we can just go here. So there to the right is the gate that we just skipped. And here we'll again see the camera goes up like that. So that's when you come too close to certain walls from both in and outside. So that's fine. So from here on out, it's just basically swimming to the part where I then have to run to the part which is the final level. So there is really not too much going on. So if you want to pluck anything, feel free.
I again want to remind everyone that all the donations are going to a good cause. We are supporting Save the Children. Children living in conflict or emergency situations such as natural disasters or major pandemics are even more vulnerable to exploitation, abuse and violence. Save the Children helps children who are moving across borders, living on the streets or in refugee camps. So every dollar counts, so get in those donations please.
Yes, thank you very much for the reminder. It's a really very good cause you're donating to, so don't hesitate. We're actually at the end of the swimming segment now, which don't worry, after this we don't have to swim anymore. I mean, if I will touch water, it will be lethal, so I don't know if that counts as swimming.
Maybe.
I guess. For one time.
Exactly. Like for one frame, you can swim.
For one.
All right. So now we can already take a short cut here. If we do this quickly enough, the enemies will not be able to catch up. And again, auto aim actually kind of, or like this snap-on feature kind of helps in this room. It's good. And from this point onwards, it's, as I said, basically trying to run past hordes of enemies without them being smart, which sometimes they are and sometimes they're not, so we'll see what happens. As I said, I technically have Mjolnir, oh, not technically, I do have Mjolnir. And I guess they kind of wanted you to really use it here a lot, because you will see around the corner there are a lot of enemies, which would all be one-shots. But you can also usually just run past them and they don't really care about you, which is the preferred option.
For sure.
And as I mentioned earlier, we actually get to see Lara's mother, and she's standing right ahead there, because apparently the game is about her, but I don't know, because I always skip this cutscene. And then we're on the final stretch to the final level. Now the thing about this game is there are no real boss battles, which is kind of nice, because that means no RNG for bosses like in other games that Heinke might know. On the other hand, that means the final level is basically one giant jumping puzzle with some really precise skips. I mean, they're not super required, but they would definitely save quite a bit of time. Yeah. And fittingly, the final chapter is called Out of Time, or whatever it is in French. Exactly.
Plus le temps.
Don't try, Heinke. No.
I just wanted to.
Wow.
So
I got denied before I could.
Yeah.
So I did a fall damage cancel to the lowest level there. Because the basic gist of this level is that you first have to push in these statues to unlock stone plates. So, and I need to smash the stone plates to end the level. There are 3 stone plates, so there are also 3 pillars I need to push in. That's the bottom level done. Now I need to wall jump up this wall. That. And then we come up to the first stone plate, which I will smash. And I will, again, as I mentioned earlier, skip the cutscene early, which will allow me to gain control of Alara earlier, which will in turn allow me to get a faster cycle if everything goes well. The problem is the camera, as usual, will not cooperate too much, so it's kind of a difficult trick, I guess.
Yeah, like a lot of fun can die to this, honestly.
That's the first part. I would like to see where I'm going, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Nice.
Really
What?
good.
That was so German. What?
Ausgezeichnet.
Danke, danke.
So here we have some unavoidable slowdowns again, like
I'm sorry.
should have donated for German. We will have another one of those jumps later on, in like a minute or so. But what we'll have first is a wall grapple section, where I will have to grapple and run along the wall. At this point, Natla, which is the antagonist, is shooting fireballs at us though, and if you're unlucky you can just get sniped, and since there is no ground underneath you, we'll just fall to your death, and that's another way how to run. Die in attempts.
Also the slow motion were like not skippable,
Yes,
basically. So
that's okay. So she hit the wall there, luckily. Let's see how this... that platform would have been nice to get, but I can just wait for the next one. And yeah, so then as I said, I will have to do one more of those precise jumps, and then that's actually already the end of the level. Usually we had to go all the way up there and then slide down to the next one, but luckily we found these also very interesting body parts. Yeah, we found these interesting jumps here, and it also cut out a lot of time. So that's the second to last stone blade. Again, skipping the cutscenes early.
and now there is a new girl that we don't know, but it's okay.
Okay,
Right.
over here. And that's the final jump. Can you... now. Yes. All right, that's the
GG.
run.
Good job, good job.
Good job, yeah. Amazing.
Yes, so thank you very much for that. I also want to thank the entire Tomb Raider community for coming out here. If you want to see more Tomb Raider for some reason after this, there's an even better one tomorrow, which we also will be doing as the joint Tomb Raider community, because it will actually take place in France for half of the game, so
Yes.
I need Eraser's expert opinion on that.
Yeah, totally. Don't
So,
miss
yeah.
Give me the
that.
creeps.
So that will be tomorrow at like 1 PM local time, so if you're interested, I would be very happy if you could watch. But now we go over to Heinke for the next run with Deus Ex: Human Revolution.